Is detrimental to black people. I'm going to read to you a letter from King Leopold II of Belgium to colonial missionaries and
Hi, lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real. So lovelies, I came across this video right for you, and I thought to share where there is this history about the King Leopold of Congo. It's actually a historical file that I found very, very interesting and educative one. Then I decided that I was just going to put it up here. As you all know, I said that I was going to be, putting up some little historical fact here in order for us to just keep saving history. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, just to watch the video to the end to just see the letter that's been written to these people.
is detrimental to black people. I'm going to read to you a letter from King Leopold II of Belgium to colonial missionaries in 1883. The context behind this letter is that Belgium sent missionaries into Congo, right? Missionaries, as we know today, are there to spread the gospel, to try to save souls and help people, right? Right. And they came in with that same energy. So let me read you the letter to let you know why the fuck they was really there. And this happened after American slavery was abolished. American slavery was abolished on December 18th, 1865. Whoa, guess what? December 18th is my birthday. Y'all better listen to this shit. I'm bringing you something. All right. Dear reverends, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact. You will certainly go to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. It's about Belgium interest, okay? Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. They speak and submit to their gods. These are their gods that they had already. And what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, and to lie and to insult is bad. Have courage to admit it. You are not going to teach them what they already know. Your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way that will be the best to protect your interest in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the riches that is plenty in their ground. What? Their job is to keep them uninterested in the riches underneath on the soil that they live on. So they won't become interested in it and overthrow these Europeans. Your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find texts ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty. Like, happier are the poor because they will inherit the heaven. And it's very difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom of God. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything, which gives courage to affront us. It makes reference to their mystic systems and their warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon, and you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. Strip them of their spiritual protection that they already had. I'm getting mad reading this. Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teachings. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends. Who is the father of their soul? Ooh! You must singularly insist on their submission and obedience, and avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach students to read and not to reason. Their dear patriots, sorry, their dear patriots are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference. Evangelize the niggas so that they stay forever in submission to the white colonialists, so they never revolt against the restraints they are undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who are weeping because the kingdom of God is for them. They stripped you of your spiritual protection to steal your shit. Sorry, that's the ancestors speaking through me. Okay, I'm right now. I'm channeling the ancestors, bitch. Okay, convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Force them to pay you in sign of recognition goats, chicken, or eggs every time you visit their villages. And make sure that the niggas never become rich. Sing every day that it's impossible for the rich to enter the heaven. Make them pay tax each week at Sunday Mass. Use the money supposed for the poor to build flourishing business centers. Institute a confessional system which allows you to be good detectives, denouncing any black that has a different consciousness contrary of the decision maker. What? The confessionals was some honor to you, bitch. The above speech, which shows the real intention of the Christian missionary journey in Africa, was exposed to the world by Mr. I can't say his name, but it's an African born in the Congo in 1915, and who in 1935, while working in the Congo, bought a secondhand Bible from a Belgian priest who forgot the speech in the Bible. So they found this letter. An African person found this letter because somebody accidentally left it in a Bible, bro. We should note that all missionaries carried out and still carry out that mandate. We are only lucky to have found King Leopold's articulation of the aim of all Christian imperialist missionaries to Africa. Even the African converts who today manage the older churches in Africa, the priests, the bishops, the archbishops, the cardinals, blah, 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 and especially also those who evangelize born-again Christianity, still serve the same mandate, which is why they demonize African gods and angelicize African names, angelicize, like, okay, can't even talk, and drop the names of African deities which form part of African names, and still attack and demolish the African shrines that have managed to survive. Woo! Those Africans who voluntarily converted to Christianity before the colonial conquest, such as Alfonso, I can't say the names, I'm so sorry, in the 15th century, probably did not discern the purpose of the brand of Christianity that was supplied to them, which was probably why they fell easy prey to the missionaries and the white traders and pirates who followed them. I learned about this letter years ago, and ever since I read this letter, I already knew someone right. But baby, once I read this letter, oh, it was a wrap for Christianity for me. It was a wrap. They didn't teach them shit they didn't already know. They gave them something they already knew. They already had morals and they already had all that shit, okay? All they did was add on, rich people are bad. It's bad to be rich. You should never want to be rich. Rich people don't go to heaven. That's all they did. So then they can steal all the riches of the land. And they still doing it today. And that's why now there's Africa starting to kick their ass the fuck out. This is how I know Christianity is detrimental to black people. I'm going to read to you a letter from King Leopold II of Belgium to colonial missionaries in
What if I told you that one European king owned an entire African country and ran it like a death camp? In 1885, King Leopold II of Belgium claimed the Congo, not for his country, but for himself. He called it the Congo Free State, but the only thing free was his access to its wealth. Congo's people were forced to harvest rubber under brutal quotas. If you didn't meet them, hands were cut off, families were slaughtered, villages were burned. This wasn't random cruelty. It was part of the system. 10 million Congolese died under Leopold's personal rule. But here's what makes it worse. Leopold never faced justice. He died peacefully in his palace in 1909 after a stroke, a billionaire by today's standard. At his funeral, crowds booed as his coffin passed. Even Belgians knew the truth by then, but the damage was already done. And when Belgium eventually took control in 1908, it didn't fix things. It just continued the exploitation. By the time Congo gained independence in 1960, it had no schools, no health system, no real leadership. It had been drained dry. That legacy still lives on in the poverty, in the conflict, in the silence. This isn't just about history, it's about accountability. If you were never taught this, share it, because this is the Africa you're not shown. But I'm here to show you.
By saying the King of Belgium created a slave colony for 30 years. The government of Belgium ran the slave colony for another 40 years. The CIA assassinated your first popular leader, Mr. Lumumba, and then installed another dictatorship for the next 30 years. And then Glencore and others now suck out your cobalt without giving you tax income. We don't reflect on that. We say, what's wrong with you? Why don't you govern properly? And so we have a system, but we need a different system. We cannot turn this over to the private sector. We already did about 100 years ago. Not only to the private sector with the U.S. military behind it, with the defense of these property rights in the Minister of Honduras's country, where United Fruit ran the country for a long time. And their attorney was the foreign minister of the United States, Secretary Dulles, and his brother was the head of the CIA and overthrew the next door neighbor, Mr. Arbenz, to make sure that United Fruit could have its property. So we have a system, but we need a different system. Start by saying,
you might think that the worst genocide in the 20th century was the Holocaust, and you'd be wrong. It's one you've never been taught about. It's when a European king killed 10 million Africans, and he made himself rich by doing it. His name was King Leopold II of Belgium, and this is the true story about the Congo Free State. In 1885, at the Berlin Conference, Europe carved Africa up like a cake. Go watch that video. But Belgium's King Leopold II didn't just want a slice, he wanted all of the profits. So he lied and told the conference that he was setting up a humanitarian project to bring civilization to the Congo. In reality, he created a slave empire, his own personal property, the Congo Free State. He used fake charities and PR to bring international backing, even from the US. They were the first to recognize his claim. And with the rubber boom exploding, Leopold forced millions of Congolese people into brutal labor. Villages were raided, men were enslaved, women were held hostage, and children were mutilated or killed as punishment. His private army, the Force Publique, had one job: to hit their quotas. They burned villages and whipped villagers with hippo hide whips and cut off hands to prove that bullets weren't wasted. Yes, severed hands were used like currency. Some officers collected hands independently just to impress their seniors. Whilst Leopold built lavish palaces in Belgium, British and American missionaries entered into the Congo and started to see the atrocities unfold. A former shipping clerk named Edmund Morel noticed something chilling. Only weapons went in and rubber came out. Morel led an international campaign to reveal the truth: the mass labour, the brutal work conditions, and the crimes against humanity. Journalists, like Roger Casement, collected first-hand testimonies. But Leopold used his PR firms to defend his position, blaming the violence and unrest on the uncivilised Africans living there. Did Leopold ever apologise? No. He called it civilising a savage land and had statues erected in his own honour. In 1908, Global outrage finally forced Belgium to take away the Congo from Leopold. But it really wasn't to save lives, it was to save face. But even after Leopold's death, Belgium continued to use the Congo as a colonial prison, all the way until 1960. And the trauma, it never left. Today, most Belgians don't learn this in school, and most history books just gloss over it. And in the Congo, the scars still remain. Economic, physical, generational. So ask yourself, why weren't you taught about the Congo Free State? And why do we erase African suffering from colonial history? And if that shocked you, good. Don't forget it. Share it. Make sure people understand the history of the
Like,
world we
seriously,
live in.
lovelies, when I came across this story about the King Leopold of Congo, I was like, it is not even to do. Congo has actually been passing through a severe genocide. I think that was the reason why this particular stitch decided to pop up on my For You. I did a video last night, and where I talked about if Agent OC is being committed to people that looks like me, you will never hear it at the mainstream media. Nobody's gonna talk about it because they see it as, oh, it's normal. Let it just happen to these people. You see a lot of people don't even talk about it, and which I actually make emphasis of what is happening in Palestine, comparing it with what has been happening in Congo. And now, when I stitched that video, this particular stitch popped up on my For You, and I got to realize that during the time of slavery and all of that, there this man from Congo who happens to be a king. He decided that he was going to go to Congo and become their king. He was ruling, and he was so brutal. I saw some stitches that I could not even put up here. I saw some people who their hands were being cut off if you disobey him, if you're not able to meet up with his target, if you're unable to do things. Your hands or whatsoever that they chose might be cut off from you. And I was like, this particular Congo have been going through this right from time. And the thing is that the most annoying thing is that this King Leopold of a man has a celebration that is being done in Belgium to celebrate him. And I keep on asking myself, is it not that celebrating the atrocity of this man, what this man has done? Or are they celebrating him because of like I don't know. And the letter that was leaked is to tell you that even till date, all of the things that is being written in this letter is happening. It is happening till date, even in 2025. Going by what has been happening in the society, going by what people have been going through, going by what people that looks like me have been going through, going by what being a melanin have been going through. You find out that most of the things that is being read on this letter is actually what has been going through. That's why anytime I see most of these people going far away in Africa to become evangelists for some ministry work thereabout, I don't even like. I see it as a way of entrapping those African countries that they are visiting. I have seen so many countless videos of some missionary workers finding themselves in some, you know, maybe timid African countries in the pretense of they are bringing the gospel to them. But they end up doing all manner of things to these people. And I keep asking myself, is it that these people do not have their own place to preach gospel? Why always looking for some timid or poor place to go preach your gospel? Does it mean that in your own, like, I'm talking about these people that call themselves evangelists to go and evangelize their work in some timid local village? Is it that all of their family members does not also want this evangelical mission? Is that why always looking towards, a place where they can easily manipulate people? That is why when this revelation came that the person whom we have been referring as Joshua, as Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and all of that is actually someone of a darker skin complexion, and they do not want people to know about this because they come in the pretense that they have been sent by the Holy Spirit. I am not saying that maybe some of them are genuine, but majority of them come with bad intention. And now that people is being finding out that, oh, actually Jesus Christ was actually a black person, I think it has reduced. This evangelical mission thing has drastically reduced of recent upon finding out who the real judge, who the real Yeshua is. You know? And now this little part of a man, he's been celebrated all over in Europe. I think in Belgium, there is a particular date for him to be celebrated. And I keep asking myself, what is he celebrating? Like, why are they celebrating him? Anyway, lovely, can I just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what I think of this video? Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload. Me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not, support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe, leave a thought, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.